We are joined now by retired four-star Army General Barry McCaffrey, also an NBC News military analyst. General, thanks for joining us tonight.
Good to be with you, Joyce.
As you know, we've been hearing mixed messages about the goal here, from the president suggesting this is about regime change, Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying it's about getting rid of nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles. What's your read on what's actually going on here?
Well, it's a political mess. It's a regional war. The president made no attempt to go to Congress and consult with them. He made no attempt to rally allies, never mind, the NATO team, which is not with us, but also regional Arab states. And then finally, he's not explained to the American people what he's up to. It's a very confusing situation. From a strictly military perspective, it's actually quite effective. More than a couple of thousand targets have now been struck. The U.S. has absolute air dominance over all of Iran. They can strike when and where they wish. The political and military leadership of Iran has been decapitated, eliminated. Some of the positions, like the Revolutionary Guard and commander of the armed forces, were replacements for those killed 8 months ago. The Iranian Navy is being struck, and we're seeing the inability of Iran really to continue much in an operational sense of attacking these other countries. They've also alienated all the Gulf states. So I think Iran's in serious trouble. The question is, how will this play out? There's a good argument that neither Mr. Trump nor the Iranians will want this to continue much longer for a variety of reasons.
You know, the president said today we could see this go on for 4 to 5 more weeks, maybe longer. And the Secretary of State said that the hardest hits are yet to come. So what should we take from that?
Well, when you embark on a military expedition, you have no clue where it's going to come out. And I think right now the Iranians are hoping that they can score one major hit on the U.S. or Israel, which would allow them to start talking. The Iranians have to start talking pretty soon. But right now they look so prostrate and incapable of really defending themselves. Their leadership is in chaos. They're trying to select who the next head of state, head of government will be. So it's really very difficult to understand where this will go. There's almost nobody to talk to yet. So from a military perspective, the strikes on Iran are extremely effective, very low operational losses, hundreds and hundreds of airstrikes with no aircraft really lost, except in that Kuwait incident. So it's a difficult situation, but on the home front, it's a disaster, I think, for the president. This war is not supported by the American people, and nor his own MAGA base. So he's got to get out of this conflict fairly soon.
And as you know, many lawmakers are pushing back, calling this a war of choice and a war of chaos. So what role does Congress play at this point?
Well, you know, I taught American government for years, and the Constitution, Article 1, gives Congress the power to declare war. Obviously, the War Power Act moved beyond that. So the president, when he senses an imminent threat, can take military action unilaterally, and they've been doing it for 30 years. However, when it comes to Iran, which is clearly a despicable regime, they just murdered more than 30,000 of their own citizens. They're a terrible threat to the region. They're developing nuclear weapons. They have a considerable ability to fire ballistic missiles as far out as Europe. But when it comes to imminent threat to the United States, there was none. So the president is basically ruling by decree and policy decisions by whim. That's what we're encountering.
You know, first it was Venezuela, now Iran. Many are also asking now, is Cuba possibly next? Is this our foreign policy where the president doesn't like a world leader or their policies or what's happening in their country and then decides to take them out? Is this our new foreign policy?
Well, you know, you make a good point. A lot of this almost seems childish, personal. He loves Kim Jong-un, this monster in North Korea, but he's terribly angry at our NATO allies, France, Germany, the UK. He has now employed military force against 7 foreign countries since he's been in office, and he's threatened Canada, Greenland, Panama, Mexico, and others. So we're really seeing an unconstrained and not very thoughtful approach to almost all governmental questions. Trump has ignored the power of the purse with Congress, the power of appointments in the Senate, confirming people in office. He's really acting in a very authoritarian and incompetent manner.
This is just day one that we're talking to you on this particular issue, but we will talk with you hopefully in the days ahead about what's to come and what we should expect. General McCaffrey, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you.
Good to be with you, Joyce.